That was DePaul's new head coach and Chris Holtmann in his first press conference, and we are lucky enough to have him here in studio. Coach, how are you?
I'm great. It's great to be here with you guys.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time. We know you are busy as you are gearing this team. DePaul is a program that's rich in history, right? But as you mentioned that, it's going to take some time to build. Brick by brick is what the terms that you used. Why was it important for you to take on a program like this?
Yeah, I think it was the challenge, honestly. When I looked at it, it was the challenge of a program that, anybody who grew up watching college basketball, I'm a little bit older, so 80s, 90s, 70s college basketball, you always watched DePaul basketball. You remembered the names, the faces, the coaches. And I think obviously they've had some difficult last couple decades, some good moments, a few good moments, but some difficult last few decades. I just think the challenge of it was really exciting to me.
In this short time that we've been together, I feel motivated already. Listening to the press conference and the way you speak, this is awesome. In this day and age with the NIL and the transfer portal and all that, how difficult is it to build up DePaul trying to compete with other schools?
Well, there is a plan in place. As you guys know, if you follow college football, college basketball, college sports in general, it's very different than what it was. But the mainstays that made good programs in years and decades past, they remain. You got to have really good players. You got to have people that play for something bigger than themselves. You got to have a group that was sacrificed. Same thing in every team sport. So we're looking for guys that are that. They're talented, that want to play for DePaul, that play for something bigger themselves, that want to play as a group and as a team on both ends. I think when we find that group of guys, success will come.
What do you think you're going to take from your previous stops at Ohio State and Butler and bring to DePaul?
Well, both stops, it was interesting because both places had some difficult years right before I arrived. They had some really good years, a couple years before I got there, but the year before I got there, they had some hard times. And we were able to kind of hit the ground running and have a successful first few years. I think the idea of program building, both places we were fortunate to have NCAA tournament teams and teams that advanced in the NCAA tournament. So just what makes a successful team and a successful group? You reflect back on the players and the teams that made up some of the fun teams we had a chance to coach.
You mentioned the rich history earlier, but what have you learned about the DePaul fan base so far?
They really, really want DePaul to be good. Yeah. Really want DePaul to be good. I think that's probably what I've noticed the most. There is an incredible energy around DePaul basketball just being relevant again. Yeah. Just being one that can have exciting games, that can be competitive. The Big East is phenomenal. 3 teams in the Sweet 16. We should add more teams in the NCAA tournament, but 3 teams in the Sweet 16 right now. Probably UConn's the favorite to win it all. It's a great league, but the excitement, the energy, they really want this team to be relevant.
Well, we have DePaul fans here in this office, and they were very excited when you came to Chicago here, so I had to give them a little shout out. But, we were talking about betting, you're talking about NIL and things changing in college sports, and NCAA President Charlie Baker came out in favor of state governments banning prop bets in college sports. So do you think that raises concerns for the sport as a whole?
I think all of us, and I would not say I'm super well versed in betting, but you have to be now in some ways as a college coach because you're trying to protect your players. I think in general you want integrity across the board. We want it in our game. We certainly want it in college sports. So I understand where he's coming from there. I will say this, there are a lot of issues in college sports right now.
The Wild West.
Yes, it is the Wild West
that
demand our attention. I don't know if I'd put that, I think betting is something to talk about, but there are issues that I would probably put even of higher importance right now.
And I can't imagine being a college athlete and having the pressure of not only performing, but then having fans yelling at you, hey, I want to hit my prop bet. Why don't you jack up a 3 or something like that? That's got to be so annoying.
Yeah, you got to keep your eyes open and just for those people out there just out to get you.
The I will tell you, players get hit on social media more now that betting is what it is than they ever have. They really get crushed, and coaches do too. We do too, when things don't go their way.
I can't imagine. Thankfully, there wasn't social media back then. Let's talk about something fun real quick. They put your name up at the marquee, on the marquee at Wrigley Field.
That's cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah, you've made it when you get your name up there. That's a big deal.
Yeah, no, that was a cool moment. I sent it to all my Cubs fans everywhere.
So. Maybe that should be like a big photo in your office, like framed up.
No, that's a big time. That is, I actually, that's a really good idea. I may do that.
Yeah, that's so awesome. Well, would you dare sit in the bleachers for 9 innings?
Could I make it 9 innings?
You could now.
That's right. Could I make it 9 innings? I guess is the question. I hear that's a pretty rowdy place. I can't wait to go to a game.
Yeah.
I can't wait to go to a game. I'm really excited about it. And of course, I'd love to be out there with all the crazy fans out there. It'd be a great time, I'm sure. So
Chicago's produced a lot of great basketball talent as well, but for your money, which part of the country produces the best basketball talent?
You know, I coached in North Carolina. I coached in Indiana. I grew up in Kentucky. So, right, you've got all the college basketball places covered there. I love the Midwest. But those places all, you know, Midwest basketball, and then those places I mentioned, Carolina, Indiana, Kentucky, all represent really a lot of high-level basketball players, high-level homegrown talent, too.
Well, speaking of good basketball players, we got to get your opinion here because Brittany Griner, you know Brittany Griner, right? Well, she obviously can hoop, and she also knows how to handle a rattlesnake here, Coach.
Oh my gosh.
She was walking outside. She's out in Arizona, obviously, and, you know, she took it like a champ. How would you react if you encountered a rattlesnake?
I'd run. I would run. She's way tougher than me.
That's the right answer, though. You had the right answer there.
Yeah.
Just run away.
I would totally run. No, I wouldn't go near that thing.
Right?
No chance.
Yeah.
She handled it like a champ.
Yeah, that's impressive.
I would
She does
definitely
have the
take your
reach,
approach.
though.
She does.
More than us, for sure.
Yeah, she does.
That's a good point there. That's a good point. You got to keep
It doesn't
your head on
matter
a
which
swivel.
part of your body gets bit. It's still a rattlesnake. You're in trouble if you get bit.
Right.
All right, so we know you're going to run away from a rattlesnake. How would you deal with a possum if it was in your house? Because Matt Barnes, he had a little pest issue. I don't know how the possum got in the house, Coach, but like, what are you
This is
throwing
Matt
apples
Barnes
at it?
throwing
This is Matt
apples at it
Barnes,
right
yes,
now.
throwing at it.
I'd be with Matt throwing stuff at the possum. I wouldn't go near the possum either. These people that you know, these wild animals, they just go and grab them. I got great respect for them, but I wouldn't come near them.
Well, I can tell you,
Oh
a
my
possum, they really do play dead. So that's when you go grab its tail.
Is
I've
that
done
right?
it before. It's
You
not
have?
a problem. Yeah.
Okay.
Not a problem.
I could not.
I don't
do
know
that.
what I
I'm
would
touching
want.
a rodent from
Right? I'd take the
outdoors.
rattlesnake, maybe.
You say you take the rattlesnake?
Well, I would have to have like one of those.
That's a
things.
crazy take.
I don't like possums.
Snakes pee
Absolutely
on
not.
you in a hurry. They pee
Oh,
on
do
you.
they?
Yeah, to try to scare you off.